Today we're going to talk about the class manager. So this is your teacher homepage. You're going to go to class manager in the left-hand column. When you click on it, you will see your classes. As you can see, last year I managed a lot of different classes for different things. So we're just going to pick one, for example, STEM Green. So we're going to click on this. Okay. You will see 3 tabs at the top. Class properties. Let's go there first. This is where you can edit and change your name. If you would like to have someone co-own your class, for example, if you teach math to 2 classes, maybe you need to co-own with the homeroom teacher of the other math class. That way you can have details from both classes. A co-owner will have class management rights to add and edit assignments, but they cannot edit the class properties or delete assignments. So just keep that in mind. Your school preferences, you can override them. Game mode, you can choose the following things. You can say yes at all times during the day. They can be on game mode. Game mode, if they answer a question right, they're allowed to play on the game. So a lot of times you'll have children just go on lower grade levels so that they can just play the games, which distracts them from their work. Some of them just strictly play the games instead of trying to do their work, even though they have to get it correct. A lot of times they'll stay on a subject that they're really good at only because they are able to play the game. You can turn it off during school hours and let them use it at home. You can also say, yes, they can play game mode if their percentage is a certain percentage above. So that's completely up to you. You can do a timer, a scratch pad, or highlighters. Those items tend to be a distraction at times. I don't like to hide the timer because a lot of children like to be able to see how much time they've spent on one specific topic. I do take off the scratch pad and highlighters because it tends to be toys for them on the computer. So I take those off unless you have some that really need that or they're using that specific skill that you have taught. Building block topics are really important because if a student is struggling, it'll drop them down to a lower building block. Then it'll slowly build them up so that they have a better understanding of that topic. Down below, you'll see your students. For this specific group, I had students at various grade levels. So when you click on a class, you can choose to have a certain number of students from that class. So we're going to return back. Oops. Let's just go back to a random class. So that was our class properties. When you go back to the class page and assignments, make sure that your class is activated. If your class is not activated, your students won't be able to see anything that you have created. Okay. Default for students. I tend to say yes because I want my students to see my class page as soon as they log in. If not, then they will have to navigate it by themselves by clicking my classes over to the side and having to find it on their own, which can be confusing for some, or some students can forget that they actually have assignments. So that's very important that you have that default on yes. Block other material. I have it no for now, but at times you will have students who will decide that instead of doing their assignment, they're either going to go to a lower grade and try and get as many blue ribbons as they can, or you will also have some overachievers who will decide instead of working on their 6th grade math, they're going to decide to get on 9th grade algebra because they are going to try and get a blue ribbon and prove to everyone that they can get a blue ribbon on high school material. We do have students who quite frequently do that. So you can choose to block other material except for the assignments that you have created. That's a nifty little way to kind of nip that in the bud before you have any major problems. You can add class assignments or specific individual student assignments. Class assignments is for everybody. Student assignments are based on what you have chosen for a specific student or set of students. If you look, the little line through the orange is to deactivate an assignment. The bars are to look at test results from that specific topic. So if you look, you can see for a test, it'll look somewhat like this. So you'll see how many correct, how many incorrect percentage for that specific topic. If you are looking at an assignment and you look at the graph, it'll show you somewhat similar items. Green, if you notice, means passing. Okay. The little blue Lego on the side is a test. The little list is a practice or an instructional assignment. The green with the eye is to view more details, so more information about what you've created. So if you look, this was for second grade skills mastery, ELA. I needed these 6 topics to assess. You can see that they have their building blocks to the side. So it tells you what specific indicators are addressed in that standard. You'll also see the students I assigned. So I have 8 students specifically to those topics. Okay. I can choose to lock this assignment, meaning once it has been started by one or more users, it can't be edited once they've started it. So no one can mess with it. I can also choose to delete the test. Now, if you look down to the test is locked, but if you look at this assignment down here, you see a little pencil. That means I can go in and edit. So if I'm looking, you see I've selected these topics. I can also go and select more topics and add these topics if I would like. I'm not going to, but if I wanted to, I would do that. Then I would next select, maybe I need to add this student. So then they would see that under theirs as well. So say, for example, you created this math goal, and at first you only had 3 students, but then after further investigating some things that they were working on in class, maybe you noticed that you had 2 more that really need to be under there. Instead of having to create a whole new assignment for them, it's simply you just edit assignment, you go in and you add those students. So it saves you a little bit of time from having to redo it all over again. Parent notifications. You can have parents can join to the class. You can have parent groups. You can actually create a notification for parents. So maybe assignments due, there's a low score, any of those, you can write a message, send it to a parent, send it to a specific parent. So if you have one parent who needs to see this every single day, then you send a daily thing, a monthly thing, a weekly. You can choose those various things. You can choose a time. So if you have that one parent who needs to have information every single week, you set it up and you never have to go in and do it again. It just automatically sends that information every single week. Same for the group. It'll show your students over here, and it'll show the parent's name and the parent's email. As you can see, I have not added anything in, but you can go in and put in parent information, which is very good to have. So that's always an option. Let's go back to our class assignments. You can even add a class schedule. So just events or things that are coming up, you can add that on there. Class notes. So if you have a little note that you need to send to your class, that can always go on there. Oops. If you also have a link, that's a great way to add maybe another website, a video that they could go to help find more information. That's also available too. That is all for your class manager page. Remember, when you're on your teacher page, you can either get to it from the left-hand corner, or you can access any of these things through My Classes in the top left column of your teacher page. Thank you.